What's going on, everybody? Tony here, and I am in beautiful Orlando, Florida, here at my residence, at my house. Since a lot of things are currently shut down in the state of Florida, no real restaurants except for takeout and delivery only, no theme parks, pretty much everything, no movie theaters, everything is kind of shut down right now. So, I want to get out of the house, but I still want to remain safe and be distant, so we're going to go a little bit on a hiking, walking trail that keeps distances from people. So with that, we're going to do a little bit of walking, a little bit of nature scenery, if you will, and just take in everything. And plus, we're going to go over the 25 fun facts about me, Tony, that nobody cares about. So let's go. First, we need a shower, and then we'll go. So here we are in the woods on this trail. This is the Lake Marion trailhead. Now, I've never been to this one before. This one's a little bit out to where I currently reside. But nothing like being out in nature, to be honest with you. All right, let's start these 25 facts about me, Tony, that nobody cares about while we're walking this trail. Fact number 1, I was born in Reading, Pennsylvania, just about 45 minutes or so outside of Philadelphia. I must say, it is a beautiful, beautiful day. I mean, look at that sky. About a good 85 degrees here today. And let me tell you, there's nothing like just you, yourself, the fresh air, the trees, the woods, and just being by yourself can really be one with your thoughts. Fact number 2, I have been playing guitar since I was 10 years old. Yes, my old man, my dad, he taught me how to play. Probably wanted to do one of those like father and son bonding experiences. So I've been playing since I was 10 years old. And with that, music became pretty easy to me. I was able to pick up bass and play that because it doesn't take a rocket scientist if you already know how to play guitar, how to play bass. And since I was in bands, I kind of learned and taught myself how to play the drums as well, just by watching the drummers and seeing what they do. Picked that up actually pretty easily myself. As you can see here, nothing but little baby roots, little baby palm trees. Gonna be growing. Number 3, I am obsessed with anything that came out of the 80s. It could be the punk rock scene, the glam scene, the movies, the music. Doesn't matter. Anything that came out of the 80s, I am obsessed with. I've seen Cyndi Lauper in concert. From the ages 19 to 24, I was both bulimic and anorexic at the same time. And yes, it is possible to be both. For being called Lake Marion, I haven't come across any lakes yet. From the ages 14 to 32, I've been playing in bands. I've been playing in bands from the ages 14 to 32. I have wrote, written, and recorded at least 5 albums, made 2 music videos, and toured around the states for both local and national bands. Back in the day, I used to wear eyeliner because Kiss and Ozzy Osbourne did it, and they looked awesome. I did not. I've come up to a random bench here. Nice spot to do some picnicking. During my time when I was both bulimic and anorexic, I wore women's jeans. Not because that was the trend back in the day, but it was the fact that guys' jeans, no matter like what the shape was, it still looked like clown jeans on me. They were so big, it didn't matter how slim they were. This was obviously before the time that guy jeans caught wind of the trend and started making then skinny jeans. My very first rock and roll album that was ever presented to me was by my brother-in-law, who was then at the time my sister's boyfriend. He gave me a tape and he said, check this out. I remember getting the tape and it was like this triangle with this like person's face like screaming and almost like melted off. And it was like all these like neon colored. It was awesome. It was Def Leppard Hysteria. When I was about 12 years old, I found a copy of my dad's Van Halen 1984 album. Didn't know who Van Halen was, but the album cover looked awesome. Come on, it's like a little baby with angel wings smoking a cigarette. So I popped that on the stereo and I fell in love with it. And ever since that day, I wanted to be David Lee Roth, and I still do. When it came to punk rock bands and albums, the first one that I've ever got, outside of the Ramones, the Clash, and the Sex Pistols, but the first one that was presented me was a band called the Queers. Now this was back in the day when you could obviously still call your band those things, and it didn't really seem as much. That album was a day late and $1 short. It's like 42 tracks, all of them range between 30 seconds to like, I don't know, like 57 seconds. Nothing really hit a minute. I still own that album, and I would probably cry if something happened to that, because that was like, you know, a historical piece for me. Number 11, I'm a very big vintage collector, especially when it comes to vinyl. My stereo equipment comes strictly from like the early 70s to like the 80s. Here, you can check it out here. I have OCD, I guess, pretty much when it only comes to numbers. Like, I don't like odd numbers. Everything has to be even. So even though this is titled 25 Facts with Tony that nobody cares about, it's actually going to be 26. I get the question of how Lisa and I met. Well, we both met at Walmart. Lisa was a cashier and I was one of her bosses. It's pretty much the story, and then it all went there. If you guys don't know who the band Clutch is, I recommend you check them out. Dude, they are my favorite band to see live. I think I've seen them roughly about 43 times, and each time it's just better and better. I try to never miss a show. God, I love Clutch. Surprisingly, my favorite band is not a punk band. It's actually a goth rock and roll band called Typo Negative. And with Typo Negative, their logo was my very first tattoo I ever gotten when I think I was like 16 or 17 years old. That was my first, right there. Good old Typo Negative. Don't mind the sun, that wasn't part of it. Just the O negative was. For the longest time, I had an obsession with rosaries. Now, I'm not Catholic or anything like that. I just really dug how gothic they looked. I love anything that's arts and crafts, and I try to do that myself. You know, I make punk vests, or battle vests as they used to call it back in the day. You know, just pretty much studded up. And I can't believe that people will spend $300 to $700 for this. You know what I mean? When you could simply just make it yourself. Buy the denim jacket, keep it the way it is, or cut the arms off. Buy 1,000 British stud cones, like 1,000 of them for maybe like roughly $10, and do it yourself. Put on some rock and roll and just do it. Number 18, punk rock music is the best music of all time. That's in all genres. Well, except for emo and pop punk, that's actually quite terrible. And, well, anything from the 80s was pretty good too. When I was 23 years old, I actually won a karaoke contest. I think it was like $500 or something like that. I did a Ramones song. I don't remember what song I actually did, but I can tell you, like, I sucked compared to the other person who was singing. It was some woman and she had an awesome, incredible voice. But she lost to me. I think it was my stage presence. I always say that performance is everything. Number 20, Bon Jovi is awesome. John Bon Jovi sucks. People always ask what my background is. My background is both Italian and German. No, I have nothing Disney related on my car whatsoever. I just never needed to be that type of person. I don't know. I'm not bashing anybody else who does it. It's just, that's never for me. I always get the question, hey Tony, what do you like better, Disney or Universal? Well, to answer that, I love both Disney and Universal the same. There is so much differences between them that I can't choose which one I like more. I really can't. I like them both equally. Number 24, The Lost Boys is the best movie of all time. Yes, it is. I don't care what you say. Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland, dude, the Frog Brothers. I'm telling you, man, such a good movie. I own 6 copies of the movie. Don't ask me why. I really don't know why, but I have them. Number 25. It pisses me off when I go to each city or state and these restaurants or little eateries claim that they have a Philadelphia cheesesteak. Being from Philadelphia, I can tell you, you do not have a Philadelphia cheesesteak. It is nothing even close. I seen like one company, I don't remember what they are, and I'm not gonna drop names even if I did, but they did the meat, onions, peppers, provolone cheese, lettuce, and tomatoes. And I'm like, what are you doing? This is not a Philly. Dude, you want a Philly cheesesteak, you get a good cut steak, you chop that up, man, onions and peppers, and Cheese Whiz. That's all you need in life. And if you go to Philadelphia, you're gonna go to 2 places to get the best cheesesteak. You're gonna go to either Geno's or you're gonna go to Pat's. And in my opinion, Pat's is the best. At least it would tell you otherwise. And last but not least, number 26, the fact about Tony that nobody cares about is one time back in the day when I lived in Pennsylvania, I went to Reading, Pennsylvania, and I went to a Reading Phillies game, right? And Mr. Belding was there. That's right, the Mr. Belding, the principal from the TV show Saved by the Bell, was there, and they were doing karaoke, and I actually got on the mic with Mr. B, and we both sang Brown Eyed Girl. Later on, I went to go grab like an autograph from him and a picture, and he said, hey, there's my karaoke guy, and then he gave me like a free VIP ticket to like, at the game, and the only thing the VIP really consisted of was some Doritos, maybe a hot dog, and some soda. That was the VIP. Alright gang, that's gonna be it. 26 facts about Tony that nobody cares about. And it was such a good time. I like doing these sort of things. Helps you get to know me a little bit better, you know? And this was a beautiful day to come out on this little like walking trail. There was literally nobody here. So talk about social distancing, right? Fresh air, nature, being by yourself, your own thoughts. It's amazing. This was a good trail. Lake Marion. So just check it out one time. That's it, guys. We will see you next time. Vlog finito.